what are the basic steps of data file handling? So there are three basic steps of working with data files. The first step is to open the file. Now when the file already exists and we want to read it, the mode of the file opening is the read mode, which is the default mode of opening the file. Now once we decide what is the way in which we are going to process, we are going to read in from the file, or we are going to write into the file, we specify the file mode. So the very first thing we are going to do is, the very first step is opening of the file. So if the question says you have to write into the file mode has to be W. If you have to add some content to the existing file, then the mode is append mode. So the very first statement, you have to open book.txt. So open function has two parameters that you have to specify. Within round brackets, you will specify book.txt in code, comma, then file mode again in code. And what function returns is the reference to the file which is stored in the disk. So your book.txt is present in the hard disk. Now it has been brought up into the main memory, and the file handle or the file pointer now which will be used to refer to book.txt is F1. So what is F1? F1 is that file handle. In other words, we can also say it is a file pointer or a reference to the file with the help of which we are going to read from the file, or in general we can say with the help of which we are going to process the file. Let us move to the second step. Now what the second step says, we have to read the file. Now when we read the file, there are three functions that are used to perform reading tasks. The three functions are read function, read line function and read lines function. Now we have to read the entire file and we have to go one character at a time. We have to go and check each character by character from the file. So whenever we are going to do character by character transaction in our file, we are going to process our file such that we have to go to each character and check it. Then the most appropriate function to do that task is read function. Always remember, the task can be done using read lines also. The task can be done using read line also. But what is the simplest way of doing it is using the read function. And this read function can be invoked in the following manner. So what we are going to say is, we have created a link between my file which is there in the disk and my program. And what is that link between the two things is your file reference, is your file handle. So F1 is that object of the file which is going to be dealt in my program, which is being read in my program. So when we are going to perform the read function, we are going to specify कौन सी file पर reading करनी है. So file which is used with the help of F1 file handle. And what is that file which is referred by F1? That file is nothing but book.txt. Now when this particular command works and it works successfully, what does it return? F1.read, this particular command will read the file and it will read the entire content of the file and transfer the content into the variable S1. S1 is a variable which will contain the entire content of the file book.txt. Now, what is the data type of S1? So the data type is string, because we are going to get a return from read function where entire file is returned in enclosed in double quotes. Okay, so let us visualize how read function works. So what we have here is a disk file which is already there in my drive, somewhere in C drive or D drive, wherever I have saved it. So this is my disk file. I have opened it with Notepad to see what it stores. So it has got these 5 lines. So this is my disk file. Now, if I open it with read function, if I say f1.read, what happens? This entire file which is there in my C or D drive it comes into the main memory in the form of string. So how we are saying it is in the form of string? Because it is enclosed within the opening and closing double quotes. So you can visualize that all the contents of the file, they are enclosed in the opening and closing quotes. It can be single or double, you know that. Strings can be enclosed in single quotes or double quotes. Now there are 5 lines in my file. Now how these 5 lines are demarcated? Now these 5 lines are demarcated with the help of a new line character. So after every line I press enter. So that enter key is nothing but the new line character which is appended at the end of each line. So this also is a special character which is the content of my file. Is this clear? So when I store the entire content of my book.txt in S1, so along with the lines at the end of each line, there is a new line character also appended. Can you see that? Can you see all the 5 lines are there, and at the end of each line there is a new line character. So by specifying S1 is equal to F1.read, this much task has been done. That S1 is a variable of string type which stores the entire content of my file enclosed in code. Okay, so now when I see that it is entirely in a string format, so we know that string is a sequence, and all these elements, all these letters are stored at an individual index number. So you can see it is a long string, and it is that each and every character is stored at a unique index number. So now what is my task? Just try to remember what was the task we started with. We started with the task of counting the small case vowels. So now what I have to do is, after taking the entire content into the variable S1, I have to traverse through this variable starting from 0th index till the last. I hope this visualization is making it more clear in your mind how the data has been read from your file, that is your book.txt. Now the data is in S1, and the data in S1, when you try to visualize it, how the data is present in the memory. So the data is organized in this form where each alphabet in that string is stored at a different index number. So what we are going to do, we are going to go from one letter to the other, and then we are going to check whether it is a vowel or not. So the next task is to traverse through this entire string and to check whether the given character which we are comparing is a vowel in small case or not. So because we have to count, so we require a variable count is equal to 0. Inside, after this, what we are going to do, for A in S1. Now this particular command is going to traverse the entire string S1. So what will actually happen over here is that this A, this letter A, initially when it begins, this letter A will be assigned in the variable A, and then it will compare. If A, that is this variable which stores currently capital A in these letters, is it matching? Capital A is occurring in this particular string. It is not occurring, so it will not increase the count and it will proceed further. Now it will take the next character, that is L, small l. Now it will place this letter again in the variable A. So this is how every time when you are putting this entire string over here in this for loop, it will take one character from the loop, from the string at a time, and then it will compare it with A. put it in A, and then A will be compared with whether it is having any of these letters. If A is having any of these letters, for example, when we have come to now E, small e. Now small e is matching E which is present here. Now when matching has been found, then count will be 1, increased by 1. So count plus is equal to 1 will take place. Currently count is 0, plus 1 will make it 1, and now the occurrences are increased by 1. Now when you compare for the next E, again it is going to increase the count. Similarly, when it will come to this particular element number 14, there the value is small a. Again the value will match this particular character. So when it will match this character, again the condition becomes true. Again the count will increase. So like this particular loop will continue, and it will go till the end of the string. So every time when it finds a small case vowel, any of these vowels, then it will increase the count. So this is how the complete string will be traversed. This is one of the methods. There is another method where you can go by specifying the size of the string. So if I have S1 which contains the entire string of my book.txt content, I can find out what is the size of the string with the help of len function. And then I can also place in the for loop range of size. So this will create a list of values starting from 0 to size -1. Now all these are the indexes. Can you see the indexes are beginning from 0 and they are going till n-1. So size -1. So here you can see now I am not going by the value which is there in the list or in the string. I am going by the index numbers. So here the index numbers are starting from 0. I am going to go by this index number. So here you can see I am not comparing directly the value. I am comparing the name of the array, which is your name of the string, followed by the index number. The index number is starting from 0. So what is there at the 0th index? At the 0th index, now I am comparing with the help of the index numbers. At the 0th index, what is stored in S1? Because it is capital A, it is not matching these small alphabets. These all are small because I want to count for the small alphabet, small vowels. So because S of I, which is S1 of 0, which is capital A, it is not matching, it will proceed further. Like that, it will go to 1 position, 2 position, 3 position, 4, 5. Finally, when I will become 6, so S1 of 6. So when I will be 6, here it is S1 of 6. At this place, what is written? At this place, small e is written. Now small e is occurring in this comparison string. So when I find a match, count will increase. So like this, there are two different ways of doing the comparison. Both are okay. Whichever you feel comfortable with, you can work with it. Okay? So this way or this way, both ways are okay. So finally, we have been able to find out the count of lowercase vowels. But then, what is the complete function? Complete function will not be done until and unless we close the file. It is the responsibility of the programmer to close the file. But if you forget to close, you may find that your file becomes some kind of corruption can happen in your file. So it is always advisable that whenever you open a file, you always close it properly before ending the function. So you can see all the 3 different steps that we discussed, they are all compiled into one function. Starting from opening the file, then reading the file and bringing the contents in S1, followed by reading this S1 and comparing and finding out the count, and then displaying the value of outside the for loop that occurrences of lowercase vowels are displaying the count which we have calculated, and finally closing of the file. So all these parts of my program which I just discussed separately, now I have compiled them in one single function.